One. What's up, everybody? It's Joe, CEO, co-founder at forexpropfirm.com. I'm with Daniel, our new funded trader with a 50K account. So congrats, man. Yes, sir. It's part of the 5%. Guys, less than 5% are like passing these challenges. So, man, congrats. Definitely part of the 5% that is consistently profitable. And at forexpropfirm.com, guys, we basically have one goal. We wanted to have the best prop firm. So we said we're going to have the best price, like the best rules, the least rules, no consistency stuff, no trickery and all that. And people get paid real quick when they ask their payout, all of that. So go check us out, 90% profit split from the start. Our goal is to become the best prop firm. And I think we are very close to it already. So Daniel, I'm happy for you to get funded again. Congrats. And thanks a lot for taking the time to do this call.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Awesome, man. So like we were talking a little bit before, you are from Chicago, USA. So we can tell a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about you.
That is correct. So yeah, I live in the west suburbs of Chicago. I'm 20 years old. I'm a college dropout. Really wasn't interested in the college. I was more interested in the charts, as you could tell. But yeah, from the beginning of high school, I mean, I saw a lot of people who were doing this and were making money. And I was like, hey, like count me in, like you're making money and you're doing it on your computer. I'm interested. So early on, I joined a program called 𝐉𝐨𝐲 Academy. And to be honest, I don't want to put them on blast, but it was just not a great time. I feel like the company's not really interested in really teaching people how to trade. They're more interested in teaching people how to like bring more people in. And as far as that, I really wasn't interested. I was there for about a year. And I mean, there is a lot of good traders, don't get me wrong, but they do different kinds of trading. So they do like, have you ever heard of pocket option kind of thing? It's more like high frequency trading where like you can say, all right, in 10 seconds, this thing's going to go up or it's going to go down. It's very more short term. You don't really pay attention to structure, kind of things like that. In my personal opinion, I think it's more like gambling. And yeah, that's where I started off and started learning about the charts. And then eventually I learned that there was more to Forex. There wasn't just doing this, and there's other things you could do, other things you could trade. And from that, I moved on from that company, and I basically just started teaching myself. I was going on YouTube, just watching videos, like, how do you do this? What is this? And I learned so much about the market. And, 2 years later, I would say I blew probably about 3 of my live accounts, but it was money that I had saved up specifically for that. So it was never to a point where I was like devastated about my loss. But the most important thing is what I learned from all these live accounts that I blew. I learned that I need to be more patient, just confirmations, making sure the trade is properly set up and things like that. It's really about the little things. That's what I learned about trading, that you don't really have to focus about the bigger picture. You just have to focus on little things and make sure that all those little things add up and you'll be good.
I like that, man. So 20 years old, you're definitely young. It's cool. Like I was telling you before, like literally the other guy, the last guy that we didn't put the interview out, but it's coming soon. He was in IML or / IM Academy now. And it's it's funny that people are gonna think we're doing this podcast against them or whatever. I'm kidding, but it is what it is. I like honest review. I like, that's fine. We're here, we're open to everything. The last person he was talking about his brand and everything. Like, we're not here to hide anything. So that's pretty cool. And basically, how long you've been trading?
It's been about 4 to 5 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you started very young, man. Like, okay, cool. 15, 16 years old. Like you
Yes.
started.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool, cool. And can you tell us briefly describe your trading plan?
So as far as my trading plan, I mean, as you said, it's a good idea to be a little bit more conservative to begin with. So, small profits are always great. If you focus on small profits and they're consistent, it all ends up adding up. And as far as you just start adding up, that's how you start growing. And once you start growing, as you said, you get more freedom with your leverage. You're able to you put bigger lot sizes, this and that. And that's probably the best way to go about this and be successful with it. So it's really
Gotcha.
about that and patience. As I said, market structure, support, resistance. You don't really want to rush into anything.
Got you. And do you use any fundamental news? Are you looking at that or not at all? You're purely like more
At the
technical.
news,
Yeah, fundamental
yeah, yeah.
news.
Oh, the news is huge right now. The news is huge, especially how volatile the market is right now. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, because especially I was trading gold, I think last week. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I saw this thing go up to 2060 and it just blew down to like 1980, like really quick. And like stuff like that is like you really have to pay attention to, right now with all the inflation data, the CPI, how, everything is rising. I mean, it's all still in the news and it's really scaring away some investors and it's bringing in more. But yeah, the news is very important, I would say.
Got you. And what are you trading right now? You said gold. A lot of people, it's funny because, man, like 80, 90% of the people, they're all trading gold, GBP, and US 30. Are you trading the same? Like, what are you trading?
What I trade, I like the indices. So US 30, I like sometimes, I usually tend to be more patient with US 30. I like to wait to a point where I know if I put the trade in, I don't have to hold it for, just a couple hours. I could put it in and hold it maybe for like a day, day and a half. Um, and if that's not properly set up, then I would move to the other indices like S&P, the lower ones. Nasdaq. Nasdaq sometimes moves a little bit crazy, but if you catch it on a good day, it's pretty smooth with the Nasdaq. And as far as gold, I mean gold's just an all-time favorite. It directly reflects on the dollar. So if you just pay attention to what the dollar is doing, you know what gold is going to do. And that's why I kind of like gold.
Makes sense. I like that. I like that. All right. So that's I like that. It's really sound like you're using really a good mix of both technical and fundamentals. So that's pretty cool. Um, can you tell us like you've been trading since a while? Like I'm guessing you didn't become profitable overnight. Like how much time did it took you to become profitable?
Yeah, I'll be honest. It took me about, I would say, 2 years. You know, my very first year, I wasn't trading like that consistently. Like I wasn't doing it. I was probably doing it around once or twice a week. I'm probably on like the weekends when I had just my free time. I would just hop on, kind of look at it, play with it. But as I said, it wasn't like a MetaTrader trading. It was more of like a high frequency. So to me, that whole year was kind of like a waste. Like
Hmm.
everything I learned from the IM Academy was just a waste because I mean, as I said, they didn't teach you anything, man. I was just doing to me, it was like gambling. It was really like, all right, I'm gonna put this to go up and just pray that I that I win and stuff like that. So yeah, my first year, I completely just did not do well with the high frequency. And then my second year, I got into that MetaTrader, and the MetaTrader, I started off like not too bad. I was breaking even a lot, but the problem that I had with the MetaTrader at first was I didn't know I wasn't familiar with the lot sizes. And then I wasn't familiar with how to connect my lot sizes to my stop loss and like with my risk to reward ratio. So it took me probably another whole year of trading on MetaTrader to kind of put two and two together and say, okay, here, if this is gonna be my profit target, then this is where I should put my stop loss because I don't want to lose this much more percentage of my account. And I kind of just started breaking it down like, oh, okay, well, if I only lose like 2% in every trade, then I'm able to put this amount of trades. And then I could just say like, I at least have to win 2 before I lose, 3 or stuff like that.
Got you. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, man. Because when you were saying that, man, I was thinking like, oh, I was putting 2 and 2 together, and I was thinking, man, like, well, maybe it's not that, but it seems to me like it's probably that. Like, I'm not a fan of the high frequency trading myself, not at all, like not at all. And like in the prop firm, like we have some people, especially at the start. Now we have put a few rules, so now it's not happening that much. And when it's happening, people like sometimes rarely we have some people passing your challenge with like high frequency trading. And if it's really abusively like high frequency and like there's no stop loss and it's like 175 position in 2 days, something like that, like it happened that we're like, no, like you failed the challenge, you didn't pass it, because what we know what's gonna happen on the live account. We know what's gonna happen. Yeah. And we're really giving live account, and like we had to tie it up a few things. Like at the start we had more leverage, now we're putting the same leverage on the evaluation and that people are doing on the challenge. And some people complain, they're like, I want the crazy leverage, I want to trade without stop loss as well, and I want no daily limit. And we don't have any daily limit, that is fine, but like we're like, no, man, like we're gonna make less sales, but we're gonna take off the leverage, take down the leverage, and make sure that people are trading with a maximum risk or a stop loss. And it is what it is, man, because the high frequency trading, it's like I don't see it, to be honest, like it's gambling to my opinion as well. Yeah. It's like there's no strategy in there. You're just lucky. You might pass the challenge. You don't know what you're doing, and you're gonna fail in 1 or 2 weeks or days. And that's what we see a lot. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in. Okay, can you like can you share with us something that happened in your trading career, in your trading history, that was a challenge, that, you know, something that you can remember that they're like, oh, this thing, man, I learned a lot, and you want to share it with people because you learn a lot from it?
Oh yeah, so I would have to say it was definitely blowing my account. When you blow your account, that's like, it's basically, it's a wake-up call, I would say. Like when you blow your account, you know, like that money is not there anymore. And I mean, depending on how much you put in your account, I put a good amount of money. I put like $2,000 to start with. And this was money that, I mean, I was only like 17 years old, and I had worked so hard to get all that money. And then I lost in about like a week. And man, I was pretty sour, you know. I was like, oh, like I got to make all this money again, put it back in. But yeah, blowing your account is a challenge that I would say stays in my head, because I'm not scared to blow another account, but like I do not want to blow another account, you know. And it's honestly, it's easier. I mean, if you want to blow your account, you pretty much have to try to blow your account. I don't know if that makes sense, but
yes.
Yeah. So once you become a good trader, I mean, there's no reason you should blow your account, because as I said, with the stop loss and the profit target, you just learn to pretty much cut your capital in a pie and say, okay, I'm only gonna eat up this amount of the pie today, and I'm gonna get more pie, stuff like that. You know, everyone should be fine doing it that way. But I would say that with this challenge, I learned that I just had to be more patient. I think patience is one of the biggest things when it comes to trading, because you know, the market's going to be open every single day. you can make money every single day, and there's hundreds of things you could trade. So you could make money off pretty much anything. You just really have to be patient. There's no rush. You don't have to say, oh man, I didn't make anything today, I'm gonna have to make something today. If you don't see a trade set up one day, might be there the next day, and if it's not there the next day, it might be the day after, but the trade will set up eventually. You just have to know when to put it.
Dude, that's great wisdom. That's great wisdom right there. I like that already, man. But you've been trading since a while, but you're super young. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm old, but I'm 29, so I'm like a grandfather, man. Like compared to you guys at 20, 21. It's funny, man, because to me it's, well, all right. Camera is good. It's funny because to me, like most people I interview, I talk with, or client in my signals and mentoring or in the prop firm, they're all like between 18 and 25, and rarely between 25 to 30. And I feel like I'm like a OG or whatever. Like it's funny, but man, there's so much wisdom in what you said. I don't want to forget everything that I had in mind, but there's 2-3 points that I really like. Like, first of all, the pie stuff, the risk management, it's the key. It's so key, man. I love that, what you said about that. It's like there's some people, like you said, they do it on the daily basis. Like I can just risk that much on a daily basis. There's some other people that just on a trade basis, and some people do it both. And that is so important. That is the number one key. Like I won't repeat the whole story, but on the last podcast or interview that I did last week, I talk about something that I did at the poker table, and you guys will be able to hear it in the previous podcast. So it's going to be out when this one is out. I went at the poker and I did a stupid thing like last week, and I lost $950 that I should have not lost in like one hand, in like basically 2 minutes of stupidity, after I had a great 8 hours of work. And I like you said, like you work hard, you save your money for your $2,000 and you blew it in 1 week. Same thing. Like I worked 8 hours to blow it in 2 minutes. So I was feeling so depressed and all that. And anyway, I won't repeat the whole story, but it's like, man, I was so mad about myself. And I said, and I did that mistake, like you said, 2-3 times. I did that mistake like freaking with trading, probably close to 10 times. And like I did it a few times with like poker and other stuff and this and that. But like I that time I said, oh man, like I'm not gonna do that mistake anymore. Like for real, this time was the last time that I was doing this stupid shit. And yeah, I learned a lot that time. So yeah, that's very, very important. I have one quote that I really love. I always remind people and myself I should do it more, and it's by Warren Buffett, and it's the number one rule is to preserve your capital, and the rule number 2 is to never forget rule number 1. And it's one of the best quote from Warren Buffett or in the finance industry or niche in general, because it is the best rule. Like if you can live to see another day, like there is, oh, that's the other point that I really love about what you said. There is another trade or like train. There's always another one coming. Exactly. So yeah. All right, let me pull out the little question that I have here. So we talk about risk management, so that's cool. Describe a key moment in your trading career. So maybe now we said something wrong, really bad that happened, but now maybe a breakthrough moment, something that happened that you were like, oh man, like now I got it, or I reached a new milestone or something.
I would say my milestone was probably being consistent. I'll be honest, like I wasn't making too much, but I got to a point where I was being consistent. I feel like that's really what's important. Like it doesn't matter how much you make, as long as it's consistent, it's gonna build up. And eventually, if it starts building up, same thing with the leverage. You could start leveraging just a little bit more, and if you're still consistent, it's still gonna be building up even more, because it's more about the long term. And I feel like the longer you're consistent, the better it is for your capital. Because I mean, it's one thing to make 200 bucks every day, and it's another thing to make 1,000 one day and then lose a couple the other day and then lose again and then maybe win a little bit, lose. It's different because if you take out all the days and just measure them together, like you'll see that if you're just consistent with it, it's a lot better.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, man, I really like that. So nothing special, but like just being consistently profitable. And oh yeah, that's I was forgetting my point. I was trying to remember what I was thinking, but yeah, so you said I wasn't making that much and all that, but that's the key, man. You don't really need to care about that, because once you're constantly profitable, you can get funded. There's so many prop firm, and before it was getting investor, and it was harder, and it's more a pain in the ass, and it's more stressful. Like if you blow their capital or whatever, it's really stressful, or it can be even dangerous. Sometimes you're going to take money from like bad people or people that have dirty money, or whatever. And yeah, man, it's nowadays, man, getting funded, it's I tell people, you can, I have a few video on our YouTube channel. It's like how to start trading with $100, how to trade with a $100 account, or how to make a living with a $200 account, or whatever, stuff like that. And some people think they're going to be thinking it's flipping the account. And no, that's not that. It's you take your $200 account, $500, $1,000 account, you make 10, 20, 30%. And then you're like, okay, well, I just did 20, 30, 40%, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10% per month consistently. And now I can go get some prop firm challenge, or I can do instant funding, even skip the challenge and get funded, or show your track record to an investor. So yeah, how long did it took to become a consistently profitable trader? That you answered that. What is your yeah, like I have your, what is your mental and psychological strength, and how did you develop it? So like, do you have some things that you do in your life, or that you did, or that happened, or whatever, that you're now better mentally or with your psychology, like, or it's just like blowing account was pretty much it, like it was the main thing?
Well, personally, I come from a sports background. I played football. I used to run track. I did basketball one year. I did baseball. And something that I really give a shout out to for the sports and the people who do sports is that you get a lot of mental toughness there. Like when I was in high school, had practice every single day, on the weekends too. Every single day, had to wake up early, go get my exercise in, get out, prepare for the game on Friday, go play, deal with injuries, stuff like that. And, sometimes you'd win, sometimes you lose. But the most important part of it all was just your effort, just how hard did you play, how hard did you work for it, and stuff like that. So I think that really gave me a good mental strength, as far as it's more of like a resilience kind of thing. You stay humble, you work hard, and eventually you'll get there somewhere. But we want to, when it comes to mental strength and trading, I would say that, I mean, losing is probably the fire that ignites everything, because like you don't want to lose, no one wants to lose. But when you lose, if you learn something from it, it's only going to make you better. You know, it's not going to make you worse. If it makes you worse, then there's a problem there. But yeah, if you just consistently, you know, learn something from your mistakes, it's the best thing you could do is fail. You know, that's what a lot of people say. Like, and it's true. Like, the best thing you could do is just learn from your mistakes. Learning from your mistakes, that's how you're going to get better every single day. And
Yep.
that's pretty much it, man.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. And the thing is, that's happening to everybody. And there's just people that just give up. Most people, they just give
Yeah,
up.
it's true.
That's what happened. So I have this 90% rule that I call, or the 3% rule. I didn't really decided if I was going to call the 90% or the 3% rule, but I'm gonna make it short. But it's like in everything, if you're thinking about sport, most sport, there's like 30 team about that in like the league or whatever. And like I always say, in anything, there's 90% that are losing, 7% that are surviving, and 3% that are winning. And if you just take sports, for example, it's there's 2 teams that gets to the final out of 30 team. That is like 6.6 something percent. If you round it up, it's like 7%. That is the one that are surviving. There's 1 winner. That's 3%, and all the others are losers. That's 90%. And you can, like, you have the famous quote, like most real estate agent, 90% of real estate agent, they don't sell a single house in their first year, and that's why they give up. And there's 7%, they're just having a few deals from the real estate agent they're working from, and there's 3% that are winning and crushing everything. Same thing for the businesses, same thing for people that are happy. There's like probably just 3% that are happy, 7% that are like, I'm okay with my life, and 90% that are unhappy. Same thing with the money and everything. So that's my 3% or 90% rule. And yeah, where I was going with this, oh yeah, so the sports thing, I really love that, because that's a recurring thing with a lot of people. You know, there's something that makes them a winner. It's hard to be a winner at trading, really. It's a really hard psychological game, and you also have to have your routine and all of that. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So did you do any other prop firm before us?
No, I actually have not.
No, cool. And why that's cool. We don't need to talk about any competition because we're the best. But I was basically asking that because I wanted to know, what do you like about our prop firm so far?
Oh, well, I didn't do another prop firm, but I did look into a lot of other ones. And you know, like I'll give it to you straight, man. You got the best prop firm. Like, there's no secret. Like, I'll be honest, you have the best prop firm, bro. I was looking at so many other prop firms, and you know, the challenges, some of them were outrageous, like the amount of like the daily loss, the maximum drawdown, the profit split. I think I was my buddies told me about these other 2 prop firms, and they're getting like I think like a 70-30 and a 60-40 split. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I saw this, and it was just random because I was just scrolling through social media, and then you guys popped up,
I can
and then I
add.
was like, huh? Yeah, on the net, you guys popped up, and I was like, oh, word. And I click on it, and I just started reading, and I see how Nick FX made like like $1 million trading. I watched some of you guys' YouTube videos, and then I just started scrolling down, reading more, and I'm like, wow, like I feel like this is too good to be true. But then I was like, I might do this challenge, you know, like, I mean, they got a 10% off, $70, 250 for the 50K challenge. Like, I'll count me in. And I was like, all right. Started working, and I got off work, and I came in instantly to my computer, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take this challenge, man. Like, you know, like what you guys offer is very generous as far as like, I mean, the challenge, very generous. and yeah, I did the challenge, and I'm very glad that I did it. So whoever's watching, you guys already know where you should come. This is the best prop firm, period.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. That's a fucking great feedback, man. Thanks for the people that don't like the swearing. I always swear. I'm a Canadian. I heard that Canadians are swearing a lot. I don't know. I'm from Canada, but no, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it, hearing that, and just hearing like that, just right there on the spot, like you loved it. Makes sense, and you did a little bit of research. So, man, that's a great feedback for us. I appreciate it. So, man, we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. Basically, I wanted to know if there's anything else you wanted to talk about.
That's a good question. I wasn't prepared for that one.
Oh, well, no, if there's anything you wanted to share, a tip or whatever, or we can just wrap it up, man. That was a very good interview. People got a lot of value, man, and I think you're gonna be a profitable trader with us for a long time. Like I said, man, like you just need to get started a little bit more conservative, and you grow your account, and then you can take some profit, live on your 50K account, or scale it up with our scaling plan, whatever you want to do. But like, it's really the start, man. Like you did, it took you, how much time it took you to pass the 2-step challenge?
So the very first evaluation, I was bugging the guy because I completed it in 2 days, and I sent him a message. He's like, oh no, you need 5 minimum trading days. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I just continued to trade a little bit for the rest of the days. And I did that. And the second one, it took me the whole week. And yeah, I mean, it's not too hard. I feel like for everyone who's gonna start doing this, like, you need to know, like, just be patient, like, they're not asking too much of you. They're not asking you any outrageous FTMO challenge, any of this. Like, just be patient. You don't have to rush through this thing. Like, yeah, I feel like a lot of people that are gonna come into this, they're just gonna be like, oh man, like, the challenge is easy. I'm just gonna blow right by it, high leverage, kill it. Like, no, man, you got 35 days to complete this thing. Like, just easily, like, just take it easy, because I mean, I feel like it really just depends on the age of the trader. Like, for example, myself, I'm pretty young, but as you said, you have been getting a lot of people who are more younger,
Yep.
more inexperienced traders, like myself. Like, I still consider myself an inexperienced trader. I'm only 20 years old, but I'm only gonna get better. But for the other people that are inexperienced, like take this as a challenge, like, take it like an actual challenge. Like, try to preserve as much as you can in your funded account, try to profit as much as you can and stuff like that. And yeah, it's pretty much it.
I love it, man. Yeah, I was asking that because thanks for sharing, because basically like 13% in 2 weeks, if you take it 2x, 2 times more conservative on the funded account, so you do 13% in a month, like that's what on a 50K account, that's 3 G's, and you got 90% of that. So like you can probably pay some bills and make close to like full-time living with 3 G's, depending on your situation and where you're from in the world, obviously. But yeah, man, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it, man. Any last word?
Thank you for having me, to be honest. Thank you for having me, and thank you for starting this prop firm. This is amazing. Great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it very much.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you just a few seconds after we hang up. So I'm going to conclude this by telling people, obviously, take action. Click the link in the bio. Try us out. There's a 10% off discount code, and you get a bunch of bonus when you join us, some cheat sheets, some templates, some training that you can ask for. And we're going to put it in your member dashboard, so it's more simple to get access to them pretty soon. And Daniel, I appreciate you for your time again. And guys, Join us. We are the best prop firm, as he just said. Ciao, guys.